Hello and welcome. Today, we are diving into a tool that is absolutely changing the landscape for English language teachers everywhere. We're talking about AI chatbots. So get ready because your classroom is about to get a serious upgrade. Now, I want you to forget everything you've heard about robots replacing teachers. That's not what this is about. Instead, I want you to picture this technology as a powerful new assistant. One who's on call 24/7, never gets tired, and get this, can give every single one of your students completely personalized one-on-one attention. And let's be clear, this isn't just some passing fad or a new gimmick. The potential here is absolutely enormous. The research frames this as a truly transformative shift, and it's designed to benefit everybody. We're talking about boosting student learning and supporting you, the teacher, in your own professional growth. It's a win-win. So where are we getting all this from? Well, we're diving deep into a comprehensive review by Dr. Mahmoud M. Abdallah, who's a leading professor in this very field. So you can be absolutely sure that everything we're talking about today is built on a really solid academic foundation. All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to look at why this stuff actually works, the theory behind it. Then we'll see how it can supercharge the 4 core language skills. After that, we'll get practical with a classroom playbook and even look at a toolkit just for you, the teacher. And finally, we'll talk about what's next. Okay, so first things first. What makes these AI chatbots so darn effective? Well, you might be surprised to hear it's not just tech magic. It's actually grounded in solid educational theory, principles that, honestly, many of you are probably already using in your classrooms every single day. It all starts with something called self-determination theory. See, chatbots tap directly into the 3 big psychological needs that really drive motivation. First, they give students autonomy, the freedom to practice when and how they want. Second, they build competence by giving instant, non-judgmental feedback. And third, they create a sense of relatedness through these personalized one-on-one interactions. It's a perfect storm for boosting motivation. And this is where it gets really cool, especially for language teachers. This technology aligns perfectly with communicative language teaching. You know, the idea that we learn a language best by actually using it in real, meaningful situations? Well, chatbots provide the perfect platform for that. They get students out of boring drills and into genuine, task-based conversations. Okay, so the theory checks out. It's solid. But you know, the real question every teacher asks is, that's great, but what does this actually look like in my classroom on a Tuesday morning? How does this really help my students with the skills they need to master? So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's break it down by the 4 core language skills that we all teach: speaking, writing, reading, and listening, and see exactly how AI gives each and every one of them a serious power-up. Let's start with speaking, because this one is huge. For so many students, the biggest barrier is fear, the fear of making a mistake in front of everyone. An AI chatbot completely changes the game by creating a private, totally non-judgmental space. A student can practice a conversation 10, 20, 100 times and get immediate feedback on pronunciation, all without an ounce of anxiety. It's a confidence-building machine. Now, what about writing? Well, think of the chatbot as a personal writing coach that's available to every single student. Is a student stuck staring at a blank page? The bot can help them brainstorm ideas. As they write, it can give instant feedback on grammar, offer different ways to freeze a tricky sentence, and guide them through revisions. And over time, this actually teaches them to become better self-editors. And it doesn't stop there. For reading and listening, AI is like having a helpful little companion right by your side. You know, when a student hits a difficult word or a cultural reference they don't get, the chatbot can explain it right there, instantly. And for listening, it can offer endless practice with all kinds of accents and speeds, and even provide a transcript to help connect what they're hearing with what they're reading. Okay, so I bet you're thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do this? How do I bring this into my classroom without it being a total headache? Well, don't worry. Let's walk through a concrete playbook you can start using pretty much right away. And here's the best part. You do not have to throw out your lesson plans and start from scratch. Not at all. You can weave AI directly into the lesson structure you already use. Use it for a warm-up to introduce new vocab, use it as the main activity as a conversation partner, and then use it afterwards for review and extension activities. See? It complements your teaching. It doesn't try to replace it. It can be as simple as this 4-step process. Seriously, you could do this tomorrow. Step 1, set a clear goal. Let's say practicing restaurant vocabulary. Step 2, design the task. Okay, a role play where the chatbot is the waiter. Step 3, your job is to facilitate, walk around, and help students as they practice ordering their food. And finally, Step 4, assess how it went and talk about it as a class. Simple, structured, and incredibly effective. Okay, let's switch gears for a second. Because, we always talk about how technology helps students, but this is a part that often gets overlooked. This technology is an unbelievably powerful tool for us, for teachers. It can help with our own professional development and save us so much precious time. So where can AI help you the most? Well, just look at where it's making the biggest impact. We're talking about a massive boost in content creation. Imagine generating lesson plans, activities, and reading materials in a fraction of the time. It's also a powerhouse for designing assessments like quizzes and rubrics, and even for brushing up on your own language skills. It's about working smarter, not harder. Now, all this means that our job description is getting a little bit of an update, right? Our role evolves. We become prompt engineers, learning how to ask the AI the right questions to get the best stuff. We become critical evaluators, always checking AI content for accuracy or bias. And maybe most importantly, we become ethical guides, teaching our students how to use this powerful technology responsibly. All right, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Where are we headed with all this? Because with any powerful new technology, it's so important to have a balanced perspective, to see both the incredible opportunities and the very real challenges that are on the horizon. On one hand, the opportunities are just incredible. The chance to give personalized learning to every single student, it's a dream come true. But on the other hand, we have to be real about the hurdles. Not every school has the tech or the Wi-Fi. Data privacy is a huge concern we have to address. And we absolutely must teach our students how to use AI as a tool, not a crutch, to protect academic integrity. And that brings us to this quote from the research, which I think just says it all. Success here isn't about who has the fanciest new gadget. It's about thoughtfully blending that technology with our wisdom as educators. AI has to be a tool that enhances, never ever replaces, the vital human connections that are at the absolute heart of learning. So, at the end of the day, we're going to leave you with this thought. It's not a matter of if AI will change education. It's already here. It's happening right now. The real question, the one we all have to answer, is how will we, as educators, step up and guide that change thoughtfully, ethically, and in a way that truly empowers our students for the future that awaits them. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a topic that is genuinely reshaping language education as we speak. We're going to unpack the incredible potential of conversational AI chatbots in the English language classroom, and we're using a fantastic guide by Dr. Mahmoud Abdallah as our foundation. We'll get into the why, the how, and most importantly, the practical steps for you and your students, and even for your own professional growth. So let's start with a question that, honestly, every single language teacher has wrestled with. You've got a big class, the clock is ticking, and you want to give every student that crucial one-on-one speaking time. It feels almost impossible, right? For decades, this has been one of the biggest roadblocks. But now, technology is offering a solution that, just a few years ago, would have sounded like science fiction. And that solution is all about introducing a new kind of partner into the classroom: conversational AI. Now, this isn't just another app or a website. It's a fundamental change in how we can give our students practice. We're moving away from a model where the teacher is the only expert to one where every single student gets their own dedicated, on-demand conversation partner. Now, just so we're all on the same page, what are we really talking about here? We're talking about those really sophisticated programs, like ChatGPT and others, that are built on these massive language models. They're designed to understand what you're saying, respond naturally, and have real interactive conversations. For your students, this means they get a practice partner who's available anytime, day or night, who never gets tired, and who can talk about pretty much anything under the sun. And this is where you really start to see the power. Each one of these points solves a classic classroom problem. 24/7 availability, that means learning isn't confined to your class period. Personalized feedback, it gives students instant, specific corrections that one teacher just can't give to 30 people at once. The non-judgmental part, that's huge. It creates a safe space to fail, which is where real learning happens. And scalability means every student gets this support, all at the same time. So how does this tech actually make things better for everybody in the room? because this isn't just a new toy for students. It's about creating this amazing cycle where both the learners and the teachers get a serious boost. The AI becomes this tool that just makes everyone more effective. And you can really see how this plays out. For students, the research is showing big improvements across the board in speaking, writing, reading, and listening. They're becoming more fluent, more creative writers, and better listeners. But for teachers, this is where it gets really interesting. The chatbot becomes your co-pilot. It helps you create content, design tests, come up with new teaching ideas, and you can even use it to work on your own language skills. Okay, let's zoom in on what might be the single biggest game changer: feedback. You know the old way, right? You get an essay, you mark it up, you hand it back days later. It's slow, and for speaking, it's often public, which can be stressful. AI just flips that completely on its head. The feedback is instant, right in the middle of the conversation. It's super detailed, explaining the why behind a mistake, and, this is so important, it's completely private, so students can practice, mess up, and learn, all without feeling judged. Now, for all the teachers watching, this is where your life gets so much easier. Seriously, think of the AI as your personal teaching assistant. You can ask it to brainstorm 5 different warm-ups for your lesson, or tell it to create a detailed role play between a tourist and a shopkeeper. Need a quick 10-question quiz on a grammar point? It's done in seconds. You can even give it a difficult article and say, hey, rewrite this for my beginner students. This frees up so much of your time to focus on what really matters, actually teaching. Of course, just having a cool tool isn't the whole story. To really make this work, you need a plan. You can't just tell students, go use this chatbot and expect miracles. Smart integration has to be thoughtful, it has to be planned, and it has to connect directly to what you're trying to teach. It's about weaving this technology into the very fabric of your curriculum. The research lays out a really clear 3-step plan for any school that wants to do this right. First, you plan. Do you have the tech? How does this tool actually help you hit your curriculum targets? Second, and this is probably the most important step, you train your teachers. We're talking real hands-on professional development, not just a 1-hour meeting. And finally, you monitor and improve. You have to keep checking what's working, see how students are progressing, and use that feedback to make your strategy even better. And this quote just absolutely hits the nail on the head. The AI can handle the boring stuff, the drills, the basic corrections. That doesn't make teachers obsolete. It makes them more important than ever. Your role shifts. You're no longer just the person with all the information. You become a facilitator, a coach, a designer of amazing learning experiences. You get to focus on the human stuff that an AI could never do. So to step into this new role, teachers need to build a few key skills. First up is prompt engineering, basically learning how to ask the AI for exactly what you want. You also have to be a critical evaluator because AI makes mistakes. You need to know how to spot them. Then there's pedagogical adaptation, the wisdom of knowing when to use the tool. And finally, digital citizenship. We have to teach our students how to use these powerful tools responsibly and ethically. All right, enough theory. What does this actually look like in a real classroom on a Tuesday morning? Let's get super practical and talk about how you can put this into a real lesson plan. The cool thing is, you can weave the AI into pretty much every part of your lesson. Before you start, as a warm-up, students could chat with a bot about the topic to get their brains working. During the main activity, the possibilities. It can be a role-play partner for a job interview, it can proofread an essay, or it can be a reading buddy that explains tricky words. And after the activity, students can even ask the bot for feedback, like, hey, what was my most common grammar mistake? And this is like the holy grail of teaching. Differentiation made easy. Think about it. In the same class, at the same time, your advanced students can be debating complex ideas with the AI. Your beginners can be practicing simple questions and answers. And that one student who's really nervous about speaking out loud, they get a private, patient partner to practice with. Achieving that level of individual support in a traditional classroom is just incredibly difficult. So let's zoom out. Where is all of this going? I mean, the technology is moving at lightning speed. The future is incredibly exciting, but it's also not a straight line. It's a road with some amazing opportunities, but also some very real bumps that we need to navigate carefully. As we look down that road, we see this balancing act. On one side, you have these breathtaking opportunities. Imagine AI tutors in virtual reality, where you can walk into a virtual cafe in Paris and practice ordering a coffee. But on the other side, we have serious challenges. We have to worry about data privacy, we have to make sure this tech doesn't leave some students behind, and we have to think really hard about what academic honesty looks like in the age of AI. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one crucial idea. We have to keep a human-centered approach. The goal of AI is not to replace teachers. It's to take over the tasks that machines are good at, so that we, the human teachers, are freed up to do what we do best: inspire our students, build relationships, and guide them through deep, meaningful learning. And that leaves us with a really important question to think about, not just for today, but for the future of our profession. As these AI partners get better and better, what is that uniquely human role that a teacher plays? What's the one thing that can never be automated? That's something worth pondering as we all step into this amazing new chapter of language teaching. Thanks for joining this explainer.